It's no secret that winning on the PGA Tour is a great experience, but how it's done also counts. So we can only imagine how satisfying it felt for Russell Henley, who won the Worldwide Technology Championship in Mayakoba very recently in Riviera Maya, Mexico. Henley was able to overcome nerves, inner demons, and mountains of past disappointment to defeat Brian Harman by 4 strokes and win his 4th PGA Tour title. So how exactly was Henley able to do it? Also, what clubs did he use to take out the 2022 Worldwide Technology Championship? Let's take a closer look. First up, Russell Henley has recently collected his 4th PGA Tour win. Here's what you need to know. If you haven't been keeping up with what has been happening in the golf world, then you may not have realized yet that Russell Henley very recently took home the win for his 4th PGA Tour Championship.
Birdied this hole the first 3 days. How about that? All 4 days he's made a birdie here at the 6th.
Now, it's common knowledge that Henley had a poor 54-hole lead conversion rate on the PGA Tour, going into the last round of the Worldwide Technology Championship, going just 1 for 6. Also, his most recent victory was over 5 years ago, and the only other time he had the lead over 3 rounds was at the 2013 Sony Open. So, a very long time ago. Henley has led after 54 holes 4 times in the past 3 seasons alone, including the 2021 US Open, but has fallen short of taking out the win. But at the most recent PGA event, Henley was finally able to get the victory he had been craving for a while now. Henley stated that following his comfortable 4-shot victory in Mexico, following his final round 70, "I've made awful blunders, bad mental mistakes, but it seems like he was able to push through." It's appropriate that Henley's score of 70 in the last round earned him the victory. In the previous 3 seasons, he consistently finished in the top 20 within the PGA Tour in terms of first-round scoring average, but his final round scoring average dropped into the 40s. Now, this probably doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but once you take out the 63 that he scored to take home the win at the Sony Open back in 2013, his scoring average in his blown leads is around 70.4. Now, Henley is yet to perform at his peak. Henley didn't need his best game on Sunday, though, since he had the largest 54-hole lead on the PGA Tour that we have seen in more than a year, a 6-shot advantage. When he could not stand up and move after his drop, he committed his first bogey of the entire week. Just 3 strokes separated him from the field when Scottie Scheffler shot 18 under. Henley birdied not only 6, but also 7 and 8 to regain a 6-stroke advantage. With just 3 holes left to play in a 5-stroke advantage, the challenging long bunker shot on hole 16 felt much less stressful. It turned out that a bogey was the difference between breaking and tying the tournament score record, but what mattered most to Henley was that he completed the task. He finally took home a win after so many years of being so close.
And in dominating fashion, Russell Henley picks up his 4th career win on the PGA Tour.
Speaking of Henley, here are the clubs he used to win the 2022 Worldwide Technology Championship. Given his recent exploits in Mayakoba and as the 54-hole leader, let's just say Russell Henley arguably deserved a break after winning his 4th PGA Tour championship at the Worldwide Technology Championship. Henley capped off an outstanding week with a round of 70 in the final round, which gave him a 4-shot advantage over Brian Harman. It was a better result than the Sony Open. Additionally, it erased the unpleasant memory of the Mayakoba competition back in 2019, where Henley appeared to be in contention for the weekend until an 8-stroke penalty was assessed for breaking the tour's 1-ball rule. This time in Mexico, such a thing did not happen. Henley took control right away. Henley began the final round with a 6-shot lead and made his first tournament bogey on hole number 5. However, he promptly recovered by making 3 straight birdies at holes 6, 7, and 8 to cut the lead back to 6 shots. The 6th hole opened with a gap wedge from 112 meters to within range, and the 7th hole featured a 15-foot for a birdie. The following hole, 138-meter par 3, required a short iron shot off the tee, and Henley also made that putt. Henley made the most of his opportunity when he did reach the green, missing enough putts for him to place 9th in putts per green in regulation. Henley uses a blade putter with a very long hosel, a Scotty Cameron by Titleist prototype. Since his undergraduate days, Henley has preferred a long hosel on his putter, and he has largely maintained that approach for most of his PGA Tour careers. But here is a full breakdown of what he had in his golf bag. First of all, he chose to use the Titleist Pro V1X ball. His driver was a 10-degree Titleist TSI-3 and Project X Hazardous Smoke Black. He used a Titleist TS3 at 16.5 degrees as a 3rd wood. He also owned a hybrid Titleist called TSI2. He used a Titleist Vokey SM8 and a Titleist T100 PW for his irons. He chose the Titleist Vokey SM8 wedges for his current set. The Scotty Cameron by Titleist GSS prototype, his putter, was the last item. In other golf news, Adam Scott and Jason Day both received year-ending huge cash prizes. Jason Day's position in the world rankings has dropped to 114, and he only had 2 PGA Tour top 10 finishes in 2022. Not great, right? The seasoned Australian, however, continues to be ranked among the top 20 players who create the most positive interest in the tour, and as a result, received a $3 million payday, which is almost 3 times his on-course earnings for the year. Not bad at all, as part of the PGA Tour's Player Impact Program, PIP, which awarded players with a whopping $150 million in prizes based on a set of data metrics. Day and fellow Australian Adam Scott each accepted their checks. Tiger Woods was ranked number 1 for the second consecutive year, and despite only teeing it up 3 times in 2022, the 82-time tour winner earned the top impact bonus of $22 million. Additionally, world number 1 Rory McIlroy, who over the weekend won the DP World Tour's race to Dubai and won the FedEx Cup for an unprecedented 3rd time, came in second, which meant he also took home a huge cash bonus. The PIP program's second year rewarded the top 20 finishers twice as much as the first year, rewarding participants who drive the most online searches, promote sponsors on TV, and maintaining a significant social media presence. Despite reaching number 3 in the world, winning the Players' Championship and a first-ever major championship at the British Open, Australian Cameron Smith was ineligible since he moved to Greg Norman's Live Golf for a substantial financial investment. So what do you think of this program? I mean, without social media and these players' influence, the sport certainly would not get as much coverage as it does, so it seems pretty fair to us. In other golf news, Mark Leishman has some unfinished business to attend to. At Royal Queensland, Mark Leishman intends to extract Australian PGA retribution against his close friend and fellow Live player Cam Smith. Smith and Leishman faced off at the 2018 Australian PGA Tournament at Royal Pines. Despite having a 2-shot advantage going into the final round, Leishman lost to Smith by the same score, giving Smith the event's back-to-back championships. 4 years later, the friendly but tough rivalry between the two is set to continue. Smith will benefit more from playing at home, but Leishman won't go down without a fight. Leishman, who is ranked number 71 in the world, needs to climb the rankings if he wants to participate in the major tournaments next year. Now, Leishman stated that he would only participate in 20 tournaments in 2023, including the 14 on the extended Live Tour. He then explained that he will play the Live events in Australia, which will be great for his work-life balance. He then elaborated, stating that this is the main reason he jumped over to the Live League, which is something that has been echoed by so many former PGA-turned-Live players. And finally, where will the Live event be held in Australia? With worldwide golfing greats like Cameron Smith scheduled to tee off at the Grange GC in April of next year, Adelaide has won the competition to host the first Live golf tournament in Australia. The Greg Norman-led Breakaway League has decided to hold the 3-day competition at the Adelaide course from April 21st to the 23rd as part of a 14-stop international tour. Australian participation in the Saudi-sponsored league, which also includes major champions Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Phil Mickelson, and Sergio Garcia, has huge potential, according to Norman. The President's Cup, which was most recently held in Melbourne in 2019, is the only major competition the US PGA Tour enters in Australia. Major sporting occasions, including as the West Lakes Classic, where Norman won his first career match in 1976, have been held at the Grange. According to reports, the Victorian government rejected a proposal from Live because it preferred to support the PGA in the golfing conflict. Smith, the British Open champion, Mark Leishman, another Live rebel, Adam Scott, and Cameron Davis will all play in the tournaments back home this month, starting with the Australian PGA in Brisbane. Unfortunately, guys, that is all the time we have for today. So make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching.